Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and today I'm doing a no run-through review for Furnace, which is an engine building game by Ivan Lashin. This was a game that was played all throughout Gen Con and was one of the games that was on my anticipated list for 2021. And I gotta say, this is an engine builder game. Like, this is as pure as you can get to that mechanism as, or genre, as you can get. And I gotta say, it's not bad. It's not fantastic or groundbreaking in any way, but it's not bad. This game, I think, at its surface, looks as boring as all get out. This cover doesn't do it any justice. The back doesn't do it any justice. But whenever you kind of get into the game, and the artwork, I think, is actually pretty fantastic. It's very colorful. When you think Industrial Revolution, you kind of, for some reason, I just kind of think gray and grim and just, I don't know, maybe that's just what media tends to do. But they didn't go that route with this. Like, all the cards are very vibrant, very colorful. The scenery is really good. Like on this card here, it has like a sunset in the background, extremely beautiful. All the iconography is extremely simple to understand, and the game works very well. So it's not even really that there's any negatives to the game, it's that I think what this helped me understand, because I love engines in games, I love engine building in games, but as I'm saying that, I'm saying it as in games. Like, I like the engine to complement other things that are happening, where if you're fighting or you're doing any type of resource generation, your engine, you're like, I get to do this, and that allows me to do this, and that allows me to do this, which all that ultimately lets me do this big, you know, grandiose gesture or move or action in other games. I don't much care for them in the purest sense, which is what this game is. If you do like that, if you like those kinds of where it's just kind of your engine is just to go off just to gather you points at the end of the game, then I think definitely go out and pick this up. So the point of it is essentially you are utilizing resources to turn into other resources that at the very end just get you money. Money is used for nothing, it is your victory points at the end. So this game does something that's actually relatively neat in the auction. So there's two phases. There's essentially your auction phase, and then kind of your production phase, where you get to actually use the cards that you acquire. So in the auction phase, everyone has these discs ranging, 1 to 4, and in turn order, you place a disc on a card that you would like. There are basically two rules. You can't place on one that you already have, and you can't place one where there's a number that is already there. So it's kind of, if you're placing your 4 and you're the first one to place it there, you are going to get that card. But what's interesting about that is, yes, it is in turn order, and it is kind of first come, first serve. First one to go will pretty much get the card that they want, but each card essentially has two functions on it. There is the ability of the card at the bottom, but there's also the top. And the top is useless for the person who actually gets the card. It's a reward for other players if they don't get the card. And that's really fascinating, because that top action, whether it's resources or an action, you get to do as based off the multiplier of the token that you place. So for example, if I place a 4 on this card, the top is steel, but I'm going to get that card. If I do not get to do the top ability at all, but let's say this isn't white, let's say, not green, black, places a 3 here, then that means they're going to get 3 iron. Because, oh, it's compensation. Oh, okay, I didn't get the card, but you know what? That's fine, because I really need iron for the cards I already have out. So they place a 3 there, and there's nothing you can do about that. You can't block it. That's the only way to block someone from doing something, is by playing a token of the same value. Other than that, it's all fair game, and there's strategy in that. Whenever you are, you might not immediately place your 4 because you want to see where they're going to place their cards. Granted, in my experience, I always place my 4 first because I valued the card action more so than anything else, and I would just gather resources based off of just what was left, you know? But I do like that. I do like the fact that a lot of auction games is kind of like everyone bids money, whoever bids the highest gets it, and everyone else blows their load, and it's just like, great, alright, lost all that. Really tried to outbid you, but I guess you outbid me and I get nothing for it. There's nothing like that in this game. You are almost always getting something. Same goes for cards with actions on them. This card here requires you pay 2 coal and you get an oil for it. Well, let's say I have a shit ton of coal already, and then so I place my 3 there. That allows me to spend, since it's an action, I get to do that 3 times versus just the 1. So it would be, oh, okay, I'll spend 6 coal to get 3 oil. Oil is pretty, as you can imagine, it goes coal, steel, then oil. Oil's more valuable. You can usually spend that for more money. But yeah, so that's essentially the auction phase. I very much like that. There's a weird kind of thing where you have to like cut the deck and then deal them out. I remember seeing someone online was complaining about that, but it's like, just cut the deck. Like, it's not like the biggest, it's not like you have to pile shuffle every single time. You just take it and you just cut it and then you deal the cards out. It's just to prevent you from looking at the top card and planning ahead, which may be to someone's, you know, benefit or not. But yeah, so essentially after that, people get people get their tokens, they get their, their compensation, and then you go to your turn where you just use your cards. You can use your cards in any order that you want, but they can only be used once, and actions will denote how many times you can do it. This one right here is you could spend 2 coal for 2 coins, and you can do that twice. It's very, very simple. This is in my experience, one of the best gateway engine building games that I have played. Most of the time, if an engine is involved in some sort of board game, it's either not immediately apparent to a lot of players, or the more experienced player is going to figure it out, and no one's going to have a good time because, oh wow, your engine went off and we didn't even know that was possible, so now you're just going to slaughter us. That's not the case here. This one, everyone understands how it's working. There's no crazy, like, weird rules you have to understand. It's just, and there's not even weird, like, idiosyncrasies where it's like, oh, how should I auction? It's pretty much straightforward. Okay, someone placed a 4 there. Okay, if I place a 2, I'll get 4 coal. Oh, I can use that coal on this card here. Like, oh, hey, like, for example, these 2 work out perfectly. If someone outbids me for this card, oh, I'll place a 2 on there. That means I'll get 4 coal. Well, I'll put a 4 on this one, so whenever I get that 4 coal, I can use it to get 4 money. Like, that's really just, that's the game. That is entirely this game. So once again, nothing bad. It's just that that's pretty much the game. And after playing it, multiple times, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's that. Now I will say they also do something that I really, really enjoy, is each card has a basic and an advanced side, or like an upgraded side. And everyone starts with a factory that is, unique to them. But pretty much the only difference is, like, you might use different resources for something. But everyone can get these upgrade tokens. And all it does is you just cost 1, and you can flip a card over to its upgraded side. So what's really cool about these is on them, you have their basic ability. In this case, 2 coal for 2 money. But on the other side or on this same side, it shows you what is on the advanced side. This is really smart. I like this a lot. And it's done in like a silhouette, black and white kind of form. So oh, I don't get that. But if I upgrade it, then I will get that. And you can immediately see what you want to upgrade. And you don't have to like flip over cards all the time to, oh yeah, that's right, that's what's on this side. You can very much see, oh, this is going to get me an oil if I upgrade it. Oh, this requires that I spend an oil for 4 money. Even just with these 6 cards out, yeah, you can see the benefits. Like, for example, this one, you spend I know you can't see, you might not be able to see it, but take my word for it. You could see an oil, you spend an oil for 4 money. Great. This one, if you upgrade it, allows you to spend 2 coal for 2 money, but it also generates you an oil. So even with this combo here, oh, this upgraded side generates me an oil. This one allows me to spend an oil, 4 money, essentially 4 points. And you could see that on all the cards. Every single card is very obvious because there's not that many icons. There's 3 resources in the entire game. So you can just look at it and be like, ah, that one gets me that. Well, I don't need any more of that. I already have this combo here going off. So it's extremely streamlined, and I didn't have bad times playing it, but if anyone's like a longtime fan of the show or watches, or you're here for the first time, I don't generally like gateway or filler games. They have to kind of, they basically don't have to give me the feeling of going through the motions, and I kind of got that here. That's just for my play style, though. Like, if you're not like that, and you love filler games or gateway games, you have a lot of new players coming through, then, and you kind of like this type of game, I highly recommend you go out and get it. Like, it's very quick, only 4 rounds. There are variants to play in the game if you you play this a lot and then you kind of get bored of it like I did. There are variants in it to where you make the game a little bit more challenging. So you basically, in the production step, so how it works is you have to put them all in a horizontal. So like I said, normally you can just use any card whenever you want. Use this card to get resources, use this to get money, those resources you just got for money. However, in the variant, you have to place all the cards in a horizontal line, and then whenever you assign, like whenever you get new cards, they have to go to the left or right of cards, so you can kind of organize, but they have to go in the line, and then you can only activate those in a row. So, like the cards that I was talking about, if this upgraded one got you an oil, but you had it after the card that you needed to spend an oil for, like, you wouldn't get to do that combo. So whenever you're assigning and taking cards, you want to make sure, oh, I'm going to upgrade this one in the future, so I want to put it before the one that requires me to get, spend an oil for the 4 money. Oh, and this one also gets me, 3 coal, so I'll make sure to put that one in front of the one that I have to spend 2 coal. So you actually have to, there is some thought to the cards that you get, and in what order you get them. It does really kind of lend itself a little bit to luck more than just kind of playing the game. Like, you have to hope that a certain card comes out, and you also hope that someone doesn't outbid you for it. But, like I said, it's a variant. You don't have to play it. You can easily just not play that way. That's the only variant in the game. If you really play this a lot and you were like, okay, we're kind of done, we've seen it, which is relatively quick, I feel like. I feel like this game is like, this is nice, I really like the art. Okay, is there anything else? Like, it's fine. For me. So, that's really it, though. Like, and everyone has a special ability. You can give them out. Like, there's one that allows you to, you have another bidding token. It's a level 2. Another one was whenever for compensation, your disc counts as 1 higher, which is really good. That essentially means, like, for auctioning, compensation purposes, his 3 is a 4, his 2 is a 3, and his 1 is a 2. So that's really good. There's a few in there. I think, like, I want to say there are, okay, there's 5. Yeah, that's about right. Couldn't remember if there was any more. But because this game is so simple, I do think that there's room for expansions. You can have it to where maybe there are cool extra buildings that you can acquire. Maybe if you spend a certain amount of resources, so your engine is going towards something. Like, maybe you have a certain number of industry cards or whatever, and it's like, oh, kind of like Res Arcana a little bit. That's an engine builder that actually feels like it's going towards something. That's what this is missing, is like, this is just going towards money, versus Res Arcana, which is like, okay, I'm using all these resources for a reason. Oh, it's to get me these master, places of power that I spend to get victory points. But That would be really cool as an expansion for this, where it's like, okay, so that one requires 5 coal, 3 oil, and 3 steel. Okay, so I'm going to use my engine to get that. That gives me either, you know, a really cool ability, or like that I use my resources for, or a really cool passive ability. Like the capitalist cards are fun, like they are unique, and they're broken in the sense that, like, obviously the one where it's like, oh, hey, my compensation is even more powerful, or I just get to bid on more things. So I think that would definitely give this game some life. I wish that was already in the game, because that would kind of warrant me wanting it. But you never know. If they release an expansion, I think that those are options that are available. But as of right now, it's a solid gateway engine building game. And with that, on a scale of 1 to 10, for what it is as a gateway engine building game, I'm going to give it a 7. I think this is a 7 out of 10 game. It is not the worst I've played. There is a little bit of thought into what you're trying to auction, but for me, whenever I was playing, I never really came into a part where I was like, oh god, okay, I really need this to make this engine just pop. Everything just kind of fell into place. And you aren't ever really struggling because of the compensation, which is nice. You still get to get compensated, but it does kind of just work itself out. So I would like to see a little bit more depth to this, to make it just not so much, oh, this is engine building. Cool. But yeah, I still think 7 out of 10. This is a pretty solid one, so if you're into that, definitely go grab it. Other than that, let me know what you think of the game in the comments below, and like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.